The quiz will start at 8 o'clock. I'm just letting everyone to have a chance to come in, so just hang on and I'll start the quiz at 8 o'clock. While you're waiting, if you want to get to a piece of paper and mark down 25 points, as there's going to be 25 questions. Hi Damien. The quiz will be starting at 8 o'clock, so just get a piece of paper and mark down for 25 questions. Hello and welcome to Trains in the Attic and my quiz. There's 25 questions. We'll go through the questions, you write down the answers, then we'll go through with the answers. I can't easily go to particular questions, but let's see what we do. I'll just hang on for another couple of minutes. Today's just an extra video and there's about, let me work this out, for 12, there's about a 40-second delay between what I say and what you lot see. Yeah, so about 40 seconds. So we're going to run through the quiz, then we're going to go through the answers. So I'll give it another minute and then we can start. I hope everybody have had a good bank holiday. We had some great activities on our street. We had, what did we have? We started off with a minute silence. Then one of the families down the road was performing for us, so that was quite good fun. So I'll give it till a minute past, which it is by all my devices. And we can go into the first question. So The first 5 questions are based on railway lines. So it's quite simple, just write down the answers. So let's go on to the first question. In which county is the Water Cress Line? So which county will you find the Water Cress Line in? The next 5 questions are all railway based, so it's going to be a case of, can you answer the questions? I'll leave them up for about 30 seconds. If anybody have any questions, please ask. And so I'll read this one out again. In which county is the Water Cress Line? I do apologise, all the questions are English based because that's whereabouts I'm based. So now for question number 2. In which county is the Bluebell Line? So which county is the Bluebell Line in? So I've done a video there. That was the Bluebell Model Railway model show. So that's one I have been to many times. So a shame that that show won't be on, but I hope all the lines go and survive. So now for the next question, which is, in which county is the Primrose Line? It does have other names, but I know that it's called the Primrose Line. So I haven't done a video there, but I've been there quite a few times when I was little. So that's question number 3. I'm going to go on to question number 4. In which county is the Eden Valley Line? That's a video whereabouts I drove a train, and that was last year. So let's see how people get on with this. So if I can work out how, I'll quickly run through the questions again at the end if anybody wants them asked again. So I'll give that another few seconds. And let's go on to the next question. Because I've been building for kits, I got to ask a question. In which counties is the SATA and Carlisle line? So that's two answers. I'm quite happy for you to just give one or the other. So that's the first 5 questions. I hope they're not too hard. So let's go and see what the next round of questions are. If you watch all my videos for the last week, I have actually said what all of them are going to be. So let's go on to the next one, which is PC parts. So this one is a little bit of a meanie. There's one which I had to look up, everything else I knew. I tried to put one curveball in each section of questions. So just waiting for you to catch up with me. But I'll now put that up on the screen. So what does RAM stand for? As my laptop I got the questions on have got to delay to my computer which I'm displaying this on, which then have a delay to YouTube, so there's a bit of a delay between all 3 points. So the question again is, what does RAM stand for? And that's question number 6. So let's go into question number 7, which is, what does CPU stand for? So that question again is, what does CPU stand for? And just to say thank you to everybody for joining me for this. I thought it would be a bit fun, something different, so I thought it could be an interesting thing to do. So now for the next question, and for a hard one for this round, question number 8. What does SATA stand for? And SATA is a cable you plug your hard drives in with. So this one I had to look up, but I felt like putting a hard question in. So just waiting for that to change. And then for the next question, we use them every day. What does USB stand for? There are so many different types of USB plugs. Trying to find the correct thing to plug everything in is always a pain in the arse. And if you have a Mac, a modern Mac, you can't plug anything in. So we're going to go on to question number 10, which is, what does ISP stand for? Again, it's something which you use quite often, but who knows what it actually stands for. And just to remind everyone, this is just for fun. There's no prize, there's no nothing like that. Me, Mum and Dad have gone through all the questions, working them out. So the next one is English fairs. So this one could be quite a hard one, so as it depends on your knowledge, and I'll go on to that. So, what type of fair is held in Nottingham in each October? It's been running for centuries, if I remember correctly, and you find this fair in more places than just Nottingham, but Nottingham have it for a famous one. The next question is, what type of fair is held in Appleby in Westmoreland each June? It always gets into the news up there, and people can get into right a lot of trouble, but let's see if you can tell me what type of fair it is. Both the last question and this question is, I'll give a hint and say that there's animals to them. So let's go on to the next question. There's an old fairy tale which is an old poem about Widecombe Fair, but the question is, where is Widecombe? It's I can't remember how it goes, but when I was little I remember that there was a poem about Widecombe Fair. So let's go on to the next question. So this is an interesting one because today, because this is normally the May Day bank holiday rather than the holiday, I have to ask, what's a maypole? As this is a traditional thing around, so what's a maypole? And hello to everyone out there. And I'm going to go on to the next question. So, where is the largest steam fair in England held? I know that there are many steam fairs, but there's one big one which I believe is normally around August. Where is that held? So that will be question 15. So where is the largest steam fair in England held? So we can go on to the next set of questions. Because it's 75 years since VE Day, I felt that I should have a section to VE Day and test your knowledge on that. So we're going to have How many questions? Hi, David Cook. Good to have you there. So we're going to have 5 questions about VE Day. So the first question is, what was the age of the Queen on VE Day? That's the first question. What was the age of the Queen on VE Day? Good to have everyone in, and I'll try to quickly run through the questions again when we have read them all. There's 25 questions, so let's go on to the next question. So, who sang about bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover? It's a famous song from World War II, so I thought, why not ask it? And our neighbours down the road did a very nice version of it. So, hello to everyone out there. This is question 17, and I'm going to go on to question 18. So, where was the only place in Britain to be liberated at the end of World War II? As there was one part of Great Britain which was actually captured during World War II, and they were liberated the day after VE Day. So, who knows the answer to this question? I know it because I've been there many times. And it's a nice place, one of my favourite places. So let's go on to the next question. We all know that Winston Churchill was a Prime Minister at the end of the war, but who was the Prime Minister at the start of World War II? I know I had to look this one up, so I hope everyone's enjoying these questions. Took me a bit of time to think it up, and by putting it on the screen people get to read it. So we're going on to question 20. Quite easy one. What does VE Day stand for? So that's quite an easy question. I hope everyone's enjoying this. It's not going to be too long a quiz. So let's see what the last round of questions is going to be. As I'm a model railway based channel, it got to be model railways. So we can go on to the first question and see your knowledge of ranges. So for question 21 is, who made the model of the Hogwarts Express? They're not easy, they're not hard. I'm trying to make them a bit challenging, as I don't like quizzes which are too easy. Okay, so the next question is, there have been a big big amount of fuss about this model actually coming out, and it was one of the most expensive models. But who made the blue Pullman? I would prefer the double O gauge, but quite happy for the N gauge version. So, who made the model of a blue Pullman? So we're doing pretty well. At 9 o'clock in our street, we got everyone out on the street singing. I can't remember which song. So let's go on to the next question. What is the Bachmann range of ready-made scenic called? I mean, for scenic buildings, so you got stuff like station buildings and that kind of thing. So, what's that range? It's in the catalogue. So once I got to question 5, I'll work out how to go back to the beginning of the thing, quickly run through the questions again, then we can do the answers. Yeah, I think that's enough way to do it. Rewind and research. So let's go on to the next question. Who has a manufacturing plant in beer in Devon? It's a very nice plant, and I have a lot of their products. So, who is it who have a manufacturing plant in beer in Devon? And it reopened last week, if I remember correctly. So we got one last question to go after this. So the last one, if you watch my channel, you should know what it is. What's the name of my main layout? That's the one in the loft. So who knows the name of my main layout? I'll leave that there for a second and then go back to the beginning, and we can quickly go through the questions again to give everybody a chance who joined late. So I'm going to go back to the first question. So question 1 again, for the people who just joined me, is railway lines, and in which county is the Water Cress Line? Then the next question is, in which county is the Bluebell railway line? Next question was then, in which county is the Primrose Line? Next question is, in which county is the Eden Valley Line? And then question 5 on that is, in which counties is the SATA and Carlisle Line? I will see you when we go through. So now the PC parts. What does RAM stand for? What does CPU stand for? What does SATA stand for? What does USB stand for? And what does ISP stand for? Then we went on to fairs, which was, first of all, what type of fair is held in Nottingham each October? Then we had what type of fair is held in Appleby in Westmoreland each June. Then we had where is Widecombe. Then we had what is a maypole. Then it is where is the largest steam fair in England held. Then we went on to our VE Day questions with what date was the Queen on VE Day? Who sung about bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover? Then we had where was the only place in Britain to be liberated at the end of World War II? Then we had who was the Prime Minister at the start of World War II? Then we had what does VE Day stand for? Then we went on to model railways, and we had who made the Hogwarts Express? Who made the Blue Pullman? What is the Bachmann ready-made scenic range at the building range? Then we had who had a manufacturing plant in beer in Devon? Then we had what the name of my main layout. So you'll be able to go through those again if you want. Just pause the video as it goes through, and then we can come to the answers. So let's see how everyone did, and let's see if who knows everything the best. So I'm just waiting for this to catch up with me. So if I do that, in which county is the Water Cress Line? And that's Hampshire. So if you got Hampshire correct, give yourself a tick. Then we went on to where is the Bluebell Line, and that's in Sussex. I will also take West Sussex and East Sussex because it does change its border every now and again. Then we had in which county is the Primrose Line, and that's Devon, and it's also known as my brain's just gone. I can't remember the other name of it, but it's in Devon. Then we had in which county is the Eden Valley, and that is in Cumbria. And then we had in which county is the SATA and Carlisle line, and that's North Yorkshire and Cumbria. So that was the first 5 questions, and now for the evil questions. What does RAM stand for? And that was random access memory. So that's what RAM stood for. Then we had what does CPU stand for? And that's central processing unit. Then we had the one which I had trouble finding. What does SATA stand for? That's Serial Advanced Technology Attachment, as that was actually advanced from Advanced Technology Attachment, so that's when technology got more advanced, as at one point you could have 2 hard drives of one port, now you can just have one. So the next question is what does USB stand for? And that's Universal Serial Bus. And you got USB A, B, C, and then micro, and several other types. We then have what does ISP stand for? And that's Internet Service Provider. So everyone have an ISP. So fairs. The Goose Fair the fair in Nottingham each year is a Goose Fair. Then we had what type of fair is held in Appleby, and that's the horse fair. And there are signs up saying don't tie your horses to lampposts and that kind of thing. So let's go on to the next one. Where is Widecombe? And that's Devon. Now for what is a maypole? That's a painted pole decorated with flowers, around which people traditionally dance on May Day, holding long ribbons that are attached to the top of the pole. So that's an interesting one. Then where is the largest steam fair in England held? And that's Dorset. So I'll be interested to know how everyone's doing with this. Then we go on to VE Day. And what age was the Queen on VE Day? And that was 19, which means she's 96 at the 96 at the moment. So let's go on to the next question. Or was it 94? I can't remember how old she is. Who sang about bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover? And that's Vera Lynn. So everybody knows that song. I would sing it, but I don't want to deafen anybody. So let's go on to the next one. Where was the only place in Britain to be liberated at the end of World War II? And that was Jersey. That was captured at the that was the Channel Islands. They were captured at the beginning of World War II. One of the Channel Islands was completely evacuated. The others weren't. So that's what that one was. Who was the Prime Minister at the beginning of WW2? And that was Neville Chamberlain. Well, that's close, Damien. you can give yourself half a point for that. So next question is, what does VE stand for? And that's Victory in Europe Day. With the last question, with the Jersey question, they have Liberation Day on the 19th of May. That's, the 9th of, I can't remember which day it was. I'll check that in a minute. So, just go on to the next question, which is model railways. So let's see how well everybody's knowledge is of model railways is. Liberation Day was the 9th of May for Jersey. So he made the Hogwarts Express, and that was Hornby. They have several versions. Then we have he made the Bluebell Line, and that was Bachmann. I keep looking at the £1,000 set, but then I remember I got no budget. Then it is, what's the Bachmann ready made for Scenic range, and that's Scenecraft, and they have some really nice buildings there. Then we had, who was a manufacturing plant in beer in Devon, and that's Pico. They have a nice little railway you can ride on, and it's a very nice place to go. You also have a SATA tram very, very close, so if you're down in that area, you can make a nice day of it. And then the last question was, what's the name of my main layout? And that's Water Tank Line. So I'll press that button. And if people want to tell me how well they did. If you don't want to tell me how well you did, I'm quite happy with that. But it was just a bit fun. And see what people, how people did. It's all things which I have interests in, either places I've been, fairs I know about, or anything like that. So, how did everyone do? I'm expecting people to get about 20, but I'm not sure there. So, would people like me to do this again? Well done, that's a very good score. Have anybody got better than 10.5? You got 11. Well done, Andy T741. Well done for your mark. David, you only got 13. That's fine. That's still a very good score. So I'm going to sign off here. Tomorrow we got a video from the main layout. I show you what do I show you? I show you how I track down problems as I've done for deck, installed my deck 20 fully up in Viatic. I had a point motor problem, and then I go onto the relay unit a bit. So I'll see you all on tomorrow night at 7 for my video. Then Monday we do some work on the Garden Railway. So thank you everybody for your time. I hope you enjoyed this. And I'll